Mimi's here. Get ready to flow. Let's dive deep with Pisces Tarot. Your business is my business. I see every ache, every kiss, the push, the pull, the silent cries. I'm exposing all the lies, revealing the hidden truth. With Mimi, you have the proof. Your business is my business. True. Welcome to Pisces Tarot. True.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Pisces Tarot, everybody. I am your host. I am Mimi Lightseer, and this is an episode of Clarity for Couples for today. And when I tell you that something got me up out of my bed to be here for y'all. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But this is not just entertainment. This is insight-driven, centered awareness that is here to enable a space where truth is surfaced, illusions are dismantled, and relational dynamics are examined with clarity and precision. Over here, we understand the energy, and it's not my job to sugarcoat it, okay? If you have been feeling confused, emotionally activated, or stuck in a connection that doesn't seem to fully make sense, Spirit has something to say to you. And it is not random that you are here today, so stick with me. Because what comes out in this reading may clarify what you may have been sensing but could not name. Using my intuitive, psychic, and tarot card insights, I will unpack the emotional patterns, subconscious signals, and energetic themes shaping the connection between you and your person. Whether you are new, navigating love, questioning intentions, or standing at the crossroads, this space is designed to give you context and clarity, but most of all, perspective that you can actually use. This is a collective reading, so take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. If you are ready to get into this reading, go ahead and drop the stars in the chat, stars in the chat, stars in the chat, because I'm ready to go. Now, before we move forward, it's important that we ground and level set ourselves. And grounding allows you the opportunities to not only be present, but to protect your energy as well as being receptive. Good morning, Shake. Good morning. So, what does that mean, y'all? It's time for us to do this guided meditation as well as to level ourselves. So to do so, we're going to start out with cleaning the air. Now let's move over to this guided meditation. We're going to take in 3 deep breaths and hold it, and we will release. So let's start with inhaling clarity and exhaling distractions. Inhale freedom and exhale emotional weight. Inhale truth and exhale lies. As a quick reminder, y'all, okay, this is a sacred space. It can get raw, it can get vulnerable, and it is outright challenging you to be able to come out of your comfort zones, okay? Remember, this is not punishment. This is simply awareness. So if you want to hear or are ready to hear what Spirit got to say, go ahead and drop those cooking emojis, because I can promise you, if I got up this early, I got something for you. All right, here we go. So as you know, before I always do a reading, I always take time to stop and see what Spirit drops in my spirit. And as I said in the opening monologue, I was snug as a bug in my rug, okay, until I heard this song playing in my ear. Now, let me tell you one thing. One thing is for sure, and two things is for certain, okay? Sometimes when you are dealing with spiritual energy, sometimes you can hear it, you know, in the form of a color. You can hear it in the form of a song. You can hear it in form of, you know, feelings, thoughts, and emotions. Okay. So I was, like I said, in my bed, minding my business. Okay. And I heard this song coming from a young lady by the name of Janet Jackson. Sorry, y'all, for this distracting. I heard a song by a lady by the name of Janet Jackson. And the song came from 19, what did it say? 1986? 1989. So this definitely came off of one of her most popular albums, Rhythm Nation. And when I tell y'all that album was going off, now I don't know where you were in time, but I will tell you where I was, okay? And where I was a little girl. So I remember Janet in her prime when she used to wear that ponytail and she used to pull that hair out the back of the baseball cap, and she was one long earring, one short, all of that, all the things, right? But this ain't about Janet. This is about you, okay? And what I heard was the song Escapade, okay? I heard, well, I like to be with you, and it's Friday, and you know it's Friday too. I hope you can find the time this weekend to relax and unwind. My mind's tired. I've worked so hard all week. Ooh, all week. Cash my check. I'm ready to go. I promise you, I'll show you such a good time. Come on, baby, let's get away. Let's save our troubles for another day. Come on, go with me. We got it made. Let me take you on an escapade. So the question becomes, who wants to take you on an escapade? Because it definitely sounds like somebody was looking forward to the weekend, looking forward to being with you, looking forward to spending time with you, and they want to make sure that you know that too. Okay? They enjoy your company. And let's be clear, y'all. When we talk about company is not always, you know, something elaborate, right? A lot of people seemingly think that, you know, company has to be this, you know, all planned, well-to-do thing, and it really doesn't have to be that, okay? Being as someone could just be enjoying their energy, enjoying their space, enjoying their time, right? So, as I'm saying that, let's look at the energy for today. And right now we have we finally have broken the stellium almost in Aquarius, but we do have some Scorpio energy here in the moon sign. So I'm not surprised about this at all, because this is a very much so social energy that's here. And then you also have the secret emotions of a Scorpio. So I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get into this, because I want to know who is wanting to have an escapade, who's wanting to take you out somewhere, who's wanting to show you a good time, and let it just be what it is for the weekend. Okay? I don't know. Let's go. All right, y'all. So as we look at what the overall energy is for this particular reading, remember, okay, if it resonates, let it out. If it doesn't, that's okay too. All right. So drop the emoji in the chat that reflects mostly what you feel right now. Spirit, with clear and precise messages, give us an energy reading for today. With clear and precise messages, give us an energy reading for today. What is going on with the people that are here in the present and will be here in the future? You know the energy of the collective that is here. Give us this information. Broken open. Broken open. Okay, broken open. Someone at this time may be feeling exceptionally guarded. Okay, exceptionally guarded. Perhaps you have been recently broken up, and if not recently, it still feels very new to you. So you going and spending time with others, especially in a very intimate setting, is a lot. Okay, it is a lot. Um, and it feels like someone wants to be very cautious about that, not being too quick to jump into something that's too deep, too emotional. But I think that's also where this is where the innocence is. This is where the fun is. Okay. A relationship is only going to be new and exciting as much as it is in the first, beginning stages, right? When you get in that honeymoon phase. And so, what you seem to allow during this time or don't allow during this time will set the tone for what will become defined normalcy in this relationship. So, to that point, it feels like you're taking it slow, and you should. But it also feels like this is a beautiful opportunity for you to come through and step into something else. Okay. So don't get caught up on the mending heart. Just enjoy yourself in the meantime. Okay. Now, the truth that you need to hear right now for your journey. All right. What is the truth that they need to learn for their journey? What is the truth that they need to learn for their journey? All right. Patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Okay. So this is playing essentially off of what I just shared with you in terms of timing. Understand that this is happening in divine order. Understand that this is something that would not have worked had it tried to happen earlier than now. Okay. This is something that is letting you know that it's okay to be present right here, right now, in this moment. Everything has its divine timing and telling you that you can't control that. And I know one of you, either you or your person, is feeling like right now, like, dag, like, how come I couldn't meet you first? How come I couldn't meet you? And that's fine. Everybody wants to do the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. But I am telling you right now that had you walked into the season just 2 weeks earlier, you would not have been ready. Okay? Now, guys of the head around, what messages do you have for this group? This feels very juvenile, very happy-go-lucky, very innocent. It takes you back to those earlier feelings of riding bikes, hanging out all day in the park, and it being innocent, but there still being like a mysterious feeling to it. Okay. Enough for now and always. You are enough. Worthiness, faith needs to be met. Okay. So this is your reminder that you are enough. And oftentimes when individuals are going through heartbreaks, it's hard to understand and to see yourself as being enough. Because somewhere at some point in time in this relationship, someone may have made you feel like you weren't enough. Okay. And it's hard to recognize and accept that you are enough when you're broken up from someone that you really deeply love and care about. Whether the argument were about needs being not unmet or expectations being unrealized and frustration exceeding between the two partners, that does make you feel like it isn't enough. And a lot of times, or you're not enough. And a lot of times when it comes to relationships, women have this expectation, well, if you love me enough that you would do it. And what I would challenge you to think about is that love, while yes, it is an action, you can't perform love. It happens organically and it happens naturally. So when I say you can't perform love, then how do you measure love? Because everybody's love looks different. So I'm saying all of this to caution, if you are one who lives underneath the guise and mindset of, if you love me, you would do it. Or if you love me, you would stop doing it. And what I am telling you is when you accept people, you can't measure love based on actions, even though love is an action. And I know that sounds like a whole oxymoron, and I could tell you all about it, okay? But there are times and instances where people are in relationships where you have these expectations of your partner that are simply not them. Okay, they are simply not them. I'll give you an example before we move on. I was watching an interview on Angie Martinez with Idris Elba, and they were talking about Valentine's Day, and it was hard to hear that he admitted that he's not a romantic. He said, I try, but I'm not a romantic. Okay. So where am I going with this? His spouse understands that asking for him to be a little bit more romantic is just not who he is. He will try, but therefore, just because he tries doesn't mean that your expectations are always going to be met, because in your mind, you have this level for romanticism, and what your partner is giving you is this level. So yes, they fail to meet expectations because you're looking to be up here when they are down here. Does that mean they love you? No, it doesn't mean they don't love you any less. That just means they're not a romantic. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, what are some angel numbers that the viewers will be probably seeing now? What are some numbers that the audience may be seeing now to let them know that this is about them? 1313, this is about clarity. As the storm passes, the clarity is felt faster than lightning is seen against the dark sky. The divine is reminding you that clarity is readily available. All you have to do is ask. You have weathered the storm, and now the sky is clearing. So with this number 1313, your affirmation is loving energy surrounds me, and I trust the clarity that I feel that is the answer I need. Okay, so this is about clarity. All right, this is about clarity. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm looking to hear more about what is going on. Who wants to take you on this escapade? And where are we going and what we doing? All right, here we go. All right, so I know y'all gonna have my funeral about what I was saying about love, but if you really think about it, you understand what I'm saying. So as we move forward to the discovery session, I am going to identify some themes, some friction points, and relational blind spots that are present between you and your person, okay? Then I will realign the cards with each perspective's energy, okay? So if you've never been here before, this might be a little confusing, but I promise you stick with me, we going places, all right? Here we go. Narcissist. Someone is full of themselves. Okay, so someone in this connection is a little full of themselves. Okay. It could be the person that's wanting you to go, just up and go with them. Maybe you have responsibilities. Maybe you have pets or children, something that's prohibiting you from going. But they don't see that as a barrier. They like, let's just go. Okay. Fed up, over it, not having it, frustrated. So someone in this connection is fed up. Okay. Then the other card that came out was tiptoeing, avoiding getting caught, acting shady, sneaking around. Okay. So someone in this connection is definitely doing something they have no business doing. What is the T, Spirit? Queen rising, stepping into power, praise, coming up, spotlight. So someone is moving into a space in this connection where they are stepping into their energy and owning who they are. Say, letting their no's be no and their yeses be yes. Y'all, I don't want to spoil the reading with the energy that I'm picking up on, so I'm just going to be quiet. All right. When we look into the broken mirror, what do we see? Wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute, y'all. Hold on. This is coming up as being a twofold because I keep hearing escapade playing in my ear. Not a thumbs down, spirit. So I'm hearing two different things. I'm hearing one, that this was either a past lover that is coming back who wants to spend time with you, want to enjoy your company. And or two, this could be a third party relationship that I'm picking up on, where someone is already committed to someone else, but then they see someone else that is catching their eye and their attention, and that's who they want to go out to an escapade with, okay? So let's find more information. Guilt, apology, remorseful, ashamed. This very much so can be that person from the past. When we look into the broken mirror, what do we see? Y'all, this is definitely an ex-lover. This is somebody from the past. Oh, Lord. Somebody was doing this. Okay. It could be CBD drinks or drugs. Doesn't have to be anything too hard. What is the true emotion here? Karmic lesson. Okay, karmic lesson. So this was something that someone needed to learn. Possibly you and or your person. Hey, Forrest. Possibly you and or your person is or had to learn from a karmic lesson. What is sometimes people have to be out on their own to realize that they had a good thing. You know, not talking. You aren't communicating your needs clearly. You need to discuss how you feel. So someone has not been speaking up clearly about what's important to them and kind of like letting things stew and fester. And now that things have stewed and festered, that could have concluded the demise of the relationship the first time around. Is it love in this connection or not, Spirit? Is it love in this connection or not? And let's be clear too, that sometimes when people spend time with you, it doesn't necessarily mean they want to have relations with you in that regard, okay? People get bored, they just want to hang out and have a good time. But y'all, they're totally in love with you. Okay, whether this is you or your person, somebody is in love with somebody up in here. Totally in love. There is an immense feeling of regret that is coming through right now. Are y'all actively dating anybody right now? Or is it somebody from the past? Are you healing or dating? I want you to write that down. If you are healing, put a healing heart like Andrea did in the chat. If you are, what was the question I had? I don't even remember the question. The question, if you are healing or in love or in the process of love, put a heart or a healing heart in the chat. Create. You're being asked to connect with your creative side and whatever feels best. This is part of you that needs extra attention right now, and this needs to be expressed in a bigger way. So this is about someone here is creative. They need to create something. They need to draw, paint, sew, do something with their hands. There's a creative person in this. Come on, baby, let's get it made. And save the troubles for another day. Let's go, escapade. We have a good time. Leave your worries behind. My voice has been so raspy since I got sick back in November. I don't know what kind of super bugs they got going on out here nowadays, but it is horrendous. All right. We got the 7 of Pentacles here, okay, which is represented and reflected with this 7 of Diamonds, okay? So this is reflected energy of someone who works very hard. You may have felt neglected. You or your person may have felt neglected in this connection the first time around, due to work obligations, which is what she talked about in the song. Now, what is the path of shadows for this connection? What was the path of shadows? Harpy. A creature of many guises, in a storm I soar, amid virtues and vices, a reflection of life's score. All right, so this is about Harpy, okay? Learning how to survive the storm. Understanding that it kind of is what it is. All right, so as we look at this, getting there now. Okay, person A is, who is person A? I hate to say it, but I'm going to put it to you this way. Person A is your ex. Person A is the ex. Okay, person A is the ex. Person A possibly did not communicate their needs well enough, okay? Needed to talk, but they didn't. They were being very narcissistic, assumed that you knew everything, didn't feel like they had to cater to the other person that was involved in this relationship as well. I definitely feel like person A was also the person who was feeling guilty and is feeling guilty. They were tiptoeing around, very remorseful. Okay, then got caught acting shady. I also feel like person A is the one that's coming around asking you for this escapade. They want to take you somewhere. Okay, they had to learn this lesson. Okay, they had to learn this lesson. Now, person B feels like the person who's moved on. You stepped into your higher energy, your higher calling. You know exactly who you are. Whereas before you were fed up, now you're not having it. You're not taking no losses. Anybody come around you now, you're like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm minding my business, right? Person B may also be very creative within their feminine energy. So whatever art, and when I say art, this is very loosely, okay? whatever they do with their hands, whatever work that they do with their hands is now starting to come back to the light, okay? Person B may work a lot, which is why this person is talking about having fun on the weekend. They are adapting to the ebbs and flows of life. And like I said, this person who does these activities, it may not be hard. It may be something like a CBD, a THC, something like that, but it's not hard. It's not out of control. It's not a substance issue to where you have to be treated medically to reduce your likelihood of experiencing, any type of side effects or anything like that. So that's not that at all. All right, y'all. So they just trying to numb and cope, but in a healthier way, if that makes sense. All right, y'all. So if y'all ready to find out whose business we about to get into, I want you to go ahead and put those drums in the chat, drums in the chat, drums in the chat. Because, baby, I'm ready to go. Here we go. So I was about to say, who is person A? And this card came flying out. Person A is the Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Finally, somebody else. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You are coming in right now as the Seven of Cups in reverse. This is about alignment, personal values, overwhelmed by choices, lack of purpose, fantasy, illusion, diversion, and confusion. Okay? Person A done came to the wake-up call. They said, baby, I know it ain't nobody else out there for me, child. I know what I want. I need to go and get it because this is my boo. And I slept once, I ain't sleeping again. Person B. If you and your partner is a water sign, go ahead and put a water sign in the chat now. Person B. And remember, I do my readings for Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. Person B is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If you or your person is a water or air sign, go ahead and put the water in the chat or the cloud in the chat for the air sign. Person B is coming in as the Two of Swords in reverse. This is reflecting the lesser of two evils, no right choice, confusion, indecision, informal information overload. Okay, so now that we have this foundational energy, let's look at what is going on with each individual. Because, baby, it sounds like both of y'all are at an inflection point where you're like, I don't know what the right answer is. But we're going to get into it. Because somebody wants to go and have a good time. All right? What is it? I don't know. We about to find out. Here we go. All right. Now, as we look to the present energy of both people, now that we have the foundational energy, and this is where I let you know, this is where now we're going to integrate all of the things that I have told you, right? So we are now moving with the integration of what I told you with my intuitive, psychic, and now the tarot cards to inform what is going on between you and your person for water signs and air signs, all right? I'm ready to get into somebody's business, and I hope that you are not offended that I'm getting into yours, all right? Here we go. Too many cards just flipped. Ooh, this Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio is coming in as the Queen of Cups today. This individual, person A, I'm not surprised because this is their energy. However, person A is coming through feeling very loving, doting, very remorseful energy, very sorrowful, but coming through in a loving way to illustrate and reiterate to you that the things that have happened in the past are just that. These are things that have happened in the past. They are very regretful that they didn't take up on an opportunity the first time, which is where when we add the nuance of this with the foundational energy, this is where initially they may have had some conflict in what they really wanted and felt maybe disaligned with what they wanted before and could have been overwhelmed by what they were getting from this connection. Okay. Shake said, I'm the water sign, or he's the water sign, I'm the Aquarius. Yeah. So it definitely feels like they have had a fresh and renewed perspective. You know, sometimes when you're away from people for a long time, sometimes you come to the conclusion like, okay, maybe I just needed a break because things were tight and contentious, especially when you talk about the energy between a water and a air sign. Water signs are very emotional, but may not always verbalize their emotion, may not always illustrate their emotions, but they're feeling them. And then you have an air sign who is always the visionary, always thinking, but not necessarily articulating or sharing what was communicated internally. Internally meaning between me, myself, and I up here, okay? So person A, although they have in the past cheated, they needed to see, okay, that you can sleep with all the people that you want to sleep with, but there'll never be another me. And so they've come to the conclusion and waking up and realizing, you know, I can have as many people as I want. But until I know exactly what I want, what am I even measuring up what I want against? And so this person likely, in all honesty, had a major wake-up call where they were like, you know what, dang. So they likely have started to come around and wake up and are starting to embrace that they are now more mature and more ready. They're coming with a solid, hard apology to you, which is going to likely come out of left field because they've never apologized for their actions before. They made excuses for their behavior, which is where the narcissism comes in. Okay. Do I believe that they're a narcissistic person? Not necessarily, not totally, but I do feel like they have narcissistic behaviors. Okay. Now, person B. Person B is coming in as the Four of Cups. Listen, y'all got a lot of emotional energy still between the two of y'all. Okay. Their present energy is coming in as the Four of Cups. Listen, even though the decision was made to walk away and to be able to heal and regroup, I don't get the impression that person B is really open to hearing anything that this Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio has to say. They have been more patient and more tolerant and more accepting of this water sign than what they possibly had before. Okay. And this is where they didn't want to make the decision to move on. I'm going to be very, very clear about this. Okay. This Gemini, Libra, Aquarius was so invested, they did not want to move on. But they felt like they had to. So that's where we have with the foundational energy, the lesser of two evils, no right choice, confusion, indecision, because they didn't want to move on. They had to move on. Okay. So they're feeling very apathetic right now. They're not really feeling fulfilled. Okay. They're kind of like just going with the flow and just trying to figure out their own feelings right now, honestly. Now, what feelings does this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces have, but they don't want to admit? What are the feelings that this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces has and don't want to admit? The Empress. Yeah. I told y'all this person just woke up and realized that they're in love with you. Okay. What feelings are they trying to avoid was the question. The question or the answer is the Empress. They recognize you from afar now. They know it. This is why they, like I said, they had a sudden awakening. They had a sudden shift in personality, or I shouldn't even say personality. They had a certain shift in reality, I should say. Okay. And whatever that wake up call was, it was that lesson that they needed to learn so that they can better understand. Like, listen, you can't go around and treat people like this. You get good quality people, you got to respect them. Okay. You got to accept them for who they are. There is no checklist. I don't care how many times people want to walk around here talking about boxes being checked and all this stuff like that. At the end of the day, no one is going to check off 100% of those boxes. So Spirit is saying it's time that you wake up, and it's time that you see the options that you have in front of you. And that was what they avoided. This individual was scared of marriage and or scared of something being more mature, more serious than what it is. Okay. Now, the emotions that they are trying to avoid is this. Their intuition been talking to them, y'all. Okay. Their intuition been talking to them. So you will note that both of these are major arcanas coming out for them in their feelings and their emotions, which means there was a major life decision that needed to occur in this connection that was not made, which is also the karmic lesson. Okay. They were supposed to be more serious. They were supposed to be more mature. They knew, all in all, they knew right away that you were the person that they should have been with in taking you more serious. But they now regret that they did not do that. Okay. They now regret that they did not do that. Now, this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, what are the feelings that they're trying to avoid? We got the Emperor in reverse. They don't want to look at this from, and they also have major arcana. So you see how this breakup was very disruptive. God gives us free will. But it doesn't feel like you guys were supposed to leave this relationship alone, which is interesting. Okay, so with this Emperor in reverse, this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius is coming through as being very insecure right now. Obviously so. If they've been picked over, like they don't have the trust here that they should and could have had. This Gemini, Libra, Aquarius is definitely coming through as seemingly being angry and still disappointed about how things have happened, and rightfully so. If I were abandoned, because that's how this energy is coming through, I will possibly not want to hear what you have to say. I wouldn't care. I will be angry. I will be upset. I will be livid, right? Because this is time of my life that I've given you that I cannot get it back. Okay. So that's really, really important there. The emotions that they're trying to hide is how this has been hurtful. This has been difficult for them to process. Okay. With this 10 of Swords. All right. They have not been able to process this. They're still trying to make sense of it. So they're trying to wrap their head around all that has happened in this connection early on. And how do you proceed to move forward? Okay. So just because people get into these relationships and just because things don't work out the first time doesn't mean that there can't be a rekindling of that energy at some point. Okay. If that's what you two want. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. It may not be a good example, but it's still an example. If you think about like Beyonce's parents, her mom and her dad, they separated like 3 or 4 times in the course of their marriage. And then when they was, get used to being away from each other, next thing you know, they back creeping with each other, right? And they were adults with grown children creeping, okay? So my point is that sometimes those breaks are critical to strengthening the relationship, because when you get time alone and time apart, It helps you to really understand your person a little bit better, because it's hard to hear their voice when everything is stressful and tense and things are just happening and going, right? So this needed to happen for a reason. And it also needed to clear up this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy as well. Now, what is favorable about this connection? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You got the King of Wands in reverse. Okay. The best thing that ever happened to you was that you lost your way. You lost your vision. Okay. You lost being able to hear yourself. Okay. So you needed to, like I said, go through this karmic lesson. Okay. You needed to experience what life was like without this person in order for you to see them for who they are this time around and to be able to appreciate them. Okay. Sometimes it's difficult for people to catch on and to just get it, right? So you needed to see what life was like without, is where I'm going, in order for you to appreciate it this time around when someone gives you their time and attention. Okay. Now, what is the cycle that you keep on repeating, water signs? Okay. It felt like I had two cards. The Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay. Again, the problem in all of this is that you keep opening up yourself to other people, hoping that they are going to be with what you want them to be, but you're not communicating what you want them to be. Okay. You don't really have a firm, fixed idea of who you are totally and what your needs are totally, right? And I know that people say, I know who I am, but you'll be amazed to see that a lot of people do not know who they are. You do not know what it is that you want. You have to take time back to say, okay, I really enjoy X, but I don't like Y so much, right? This comes with maturity and time. And when you busy yourself with other things, i.e. work, i.e. hobbies, i.e. joy, pleasurable things, it's hard for you to really understand who you truly are and how you're showing up. Okay. So what has been the problem is that this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces has always continued to walk around as if with this inconsistency. Okay. Being fickle, being moody, not being true to who they are, not being clear about who they are. And this has posed such a disappointment for you, relationship through relationship through relationship, because no one can really truly get to know you because you're hard to penetrate in that way. Okay. So for you, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, what Spirit is telling you is you needed to have some time by yourself. And I hate to say it, but something must have really gone really sour with this karmic lesson, because not only are they popping up being apologetic and remorseful, but they're also recognizing that what they've done in the past is no longer sustainable moving forward in the future. Okay. So it's a major to do. It's a major to do. All right. Now, if Spirit is calling you out with love, I want you to put the stop sign there, if what it is that you're willing to stop doing. And if you realize now that this is a repeated lesson that Spirit is calling you out on, I want you to put the repeat button in the chat. Okay. Because I definitely feel like Spirit has something that wants to be said, once it needs to be said. Now, what is Spirit trying to teach you, water signs? Okay. Y'all, why these two cards just flip over? The Ace of Wands in reverse and the Empress in reverse. Okay. Now, one thing I will tell you is that there was, like I said, something that happened was very, very, very detrimental during this karmic lesson. Okay. Someone took advantage of you. Okay. And in this infidelity, this did not go well. It wasn't even an infidelity because you weren't with anybody, But there may have been an opportunity where someone tried to trap this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces into a relationship. Always either that or lied and said that they were pregnant and with a child. But they were their intentions were not good. And this was something that you needed to understand, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that everybody is not genuine. Everybody is not sincere. People look at you and they start counting up money. They start counting up things, what they think about you, how you can provide for them emotionally and monetary wise. So all that glitters isn't gold when it comes to other people. Okay. Now, what Spirit is trying to teach you is there's going to always be other people out there. It's always going to be competition out there. It's going to always be other women out there that's vying for your attention. But who is the woman who has your attention? Okay. Who is the person who has your attention? Who is the person who's willing to overcome these struggles and work through with you? Right? Who is the person who's really holding you down? Don't get distracted by what's outside. Every time you go outside, there's always going to be pretty women. There's always going to be handsome men. But what about the one that you got? Like, I just heard the song. I don't remember. It was an old song, but it was like, ain't no woman like the one I got. Not the rap song, okay? But the actual song. I don't know who sing that song, but it's an old song, okay? So Spirit is trying to teach you that you need to learn how to be okay with what you have and invest in what you have, okay? So this is an opportunity for you to be honest and to recognize the lesson that Spirit is teaching you right now. Are you resisting it? Or have you learned your lesson? I want you to think about that and write that down in the chat. Because it definitely feels like you're starting to wake up to the lesson, but only you know if you really have learned your lesson or not, okay? Now, what is it that you need to do to heal? What is it that you need to heal and what is it that you need to release? The Magician. Okay. Spirit is saying to you, stop acting like you know it all. Stop acting like you know it all about everybody and everything. Stop acting like you have all the answers, because you do not. And what Spirit is saying, if you did have all the answers, then you would have known that you cannot go around here treating people in this manner and think that everything is going to be a-okay when you're ready for it to be. Spirit is saying that it's time for you to focus and to move with intention. Okay? Because you're not going to have the same outcomes each and every time. And what Spirit is also telling you is that you have to be willing, okay? You have to be willing to do what needs to be done. If your woman is upset, then you need to apologize.
I am disgusted.
It's not particularly about whether or not you feel you're wrong or not. It's about you recognizing that they felt like you were wrong. And I'm not saying become cowardice and not have a backbone, not defend. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is when someone brings something to your attention, you have to acknowledge it. That's where it goes back to that narcissistic behavior. Okay? Stop blowing people off, belittling and dismissing them, because that ain't cool. That is not cool at all. Okay? So what is one thing that you know that you can work on to make yourself a better person? I want you to think about that and write that down in the chat. Now, lastly, what is Spirit trying to help you grow through? The Hangman. Okay, the Hangman. Spirit is asking for you to take time, again, to reflect. Get that new perspective that you needed. Get that new awakening, that new feeling, okay? This is, again, is major arcana. You see that? So we have spirit trying to help you heal and have you to take that new, fresh, new perspective to be able to apply it to the other areas of your life when it comes specifically to this other person. Okay? That's what we are. And at the bottom of the deck, we got the King of Swords. So you know what you want. You know what you want to do. You've been thinking about it for a long time, but you just have not been actionable. And the question then becomes why? So as we start to look at the real hidden motives and agendas, ask yourself, like, are you really even being honest with yourself right now to be able to really even approach or reapproach this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius? Let's find out. Here we go. So this is where we look underneath the hood to expose what is hidden, what have been some true motives and some real intentions that one or both of you may be actually avoiding. All right, so what is really going on here? What is the hidden motives and pure intentions here? Told you, the Empress. We back to this again. Okay? What has been hidden is that all along, again, they knew that you were the one for them. They knew it emphatically. There was no doubt about it. There was no disputing. They knew that you were the one for them the whole entire time, which is why this is perplexing, because when I asked the question previously about the feelings that this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces was trying to avoid, listen, one thing, a group of people in the whole entire zodiac that has strong, immense intuition is always going to be a Cancer, Scorpio, and a Pisces, okay? So when I tell you they've been knowing this for quite some time, they've been knowing this for quite some time. Why have they taken so long to approach you? They simply weren't ready mentally. Okay, they still had some things they needed to work through.
Just a messy man.
It's not uncommon that happens in that way. It really is not. But what we also know is with this undercurrent energy, okay, or current undercurrent of an energy, this is somebody who is bold, courageous, is fearless. They have charm. So this person knows, okay, when they reapproach you, they have to be very dogmatic and very intentional about how they treat you, because they know that if they screw this up, there won't be another again.
Man, not again.
Okay, it won't be. All right. Now, what is the true motive here? The Four of Cups. They came to the realization that nothing is going to make them happy. Okay? They can date Becky, Sue, Karen, and Kim, Tawanda, Yolanda, Sharonda, Veronica. Who else? Now I'm sounding like DMX. Then there was Kim, then there was Lisa, then there was, whomever, right? But Spirit is saying to you today, right now, that it's time for you to stop playing games. It is time for you to choose your inner peace, your happiness. It is time for you to overcome this lack mentality when it comes to the people in your life. You had it, and you chose to blow it. You chose to let it escape through your fingers, right? Now, what is the real intentions here? The offering. I told y'all, this person knows emphatically now who they are. They're coming with peace. They're coming with love. They're coming with faith. They're coming with serenity. Like, they're coming to offer you the world. Okay? They're coming to give you that new, fresh beginning that they should have gave you all the while the long time ago. Unfortunately, they were bogged down by immaturity. Okay? What is it that they may be avoiding? What is it that this water sign may be avoiding? Page of Wands. Okay. I will tell you, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you're acting like you just don't know how to do it. The first thing you need to do is pick up the phone and call and say, I'm sorry. Okay. That's all you have to do. Stop going around here acting like you don't know what to do. Okay. You're avoiding picking up the phone and calling. I understand that you might be a little fearful of what might be happening. I understand that you don't want to come off being too aggressive, looking weak. Nobody wants that, right? But what I am also telling you is the only way to find out if this person is still available and ready and willing to accept you is if you pick up the phone and call. Oh gosh, y'all, I just started hearing that song by Sierra. Pick up the phone, boy, pick up the phone, boy, pick up the phone. Something, I know you see me on your caller ID. Pick up the PHONE. It was off the Goodies album. Pick up the phone. You picking up the phone, but you're not dialing the number. You're doing one of these. And then you put the phone back down. Okay? So Spirit is saying you got to be bold. You got to be fierce. You got to come forward. Stop avoiding it. You're going to miss out on a wonderful opportunity with a wonderful person if you don't put your pride aside and make it happen. Okay? Now let me ask you a question, water signs. Did you see this coming? Or again, have you been avoiding it? What was said to you that you already knew, but you didn't want to admit it? Now, the question then becomes, why now? Why does this matter now? Shake said, literally. All right. Why does this matter now, Spirit? We got Judgment in reverse, followed by the Eight of Cups. I'm sorry, Eight of Pentacles in reverse, followed by that's the Knight of Cups. All right, so why is there a delay right now? Why does this matter now? Well, for one, it matters because Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you can't control someone else's perception about you. If someone really loves you, they're going to be willing to take you back. Okay. While things are very damaging and not looking good for you, right? There feels like there's this lack of insight on how to really take this approach to make it work. And with this Eight of Pentacles here, that also tells me like you're not really moving like you really want this to work. It's like you just want to show up and look good and be good and feel good and just come out of nowhere to really try to, again, come in like the knight in shining armor, like you rescuing somebody, but it takes work to get to that point. You can't just show up and expect for them to drop everything and want to be with you. I am here. It don't work like that. Spirit is telling you that you need to put in get some clarity about yourself so that when you move forward to apologize, You can come through like the knight in shiny armor, okay? Because no one is looking at you to be anything more than that, okay? No one is asking you to do anything else, all right? But for some reason or another, you want to be lazy. You can't be lazy at all. Listen, you cannot be lazy. When you know that you have screwed somebody over, you left somebody hurt, disappointed, disenfranchised, disenchanted, and all those other disses, you cannot come in half-stepping. You have got to have your skit together and make a meaningful apology. Okay? So that's why this matters now. Because if you don't, I can promise you this person gonna be moving on. Okay? They've taken time to sit back and reflect. They know. This Gemini, Libra, Aquarius knows. Okay? They looking real hard. They are very introspective and very much so sat back to reflect over the ins and outs. Trust me. They've been rehearsing this in their head over and over again for quite some time now. Okay? They really have. They really have. Yep, because here, we got the Fool card in reverse. So this is you, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, being very much so self-sabotaging. Okay? You being very, very much so self-sabotaging. Acting naive about this. Acting like somebody's supposed to welcome you in with open arms. That's why this person is like, I'm confused. Yeah. But see, well, you know what's changed now with this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius? They know who they are. They're clear. They got that clarity. They got that clarity, baby. They know exactly who they are. Okay? They know what they offer. They're full of joy. They're full of peace. That's why they're creating again. They're focusing on their creation. I wouldn't be surprised if this person writes and or has a job where they have to do a lot of writing with the like emotional storytelling. I wouldn't be surprised if this person has a job that is very creative, okay? And now that they're clear, their creativity is back. But they're also very clear about what their boundaries are and what they will accept and what they will not accept.
Absolutely not. Child, absolutely not.
So they know, okay? They know exactly where they are. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're capable of. So like for both of you, the benefit here is that both of you guys have grown. Okay, both of you guys have grown.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
Okay? Both of you guys have grown. Now, listen, I want this to work out for y'all so bad, okay? So let me look and see what the final outcome for this is. But if you feel like thus far this reading has given you some hope, put the rainbow in the chat. And if this kind of made you sad because it feels like I hear you, but I don't know if this is going to really work the way that you're saying it could work, I want you to put the water sign in the chat, okay? Rainbows if you're hopeful, water sign if it makes you a little sad, or you can just put a sad face. But let's jump into this and find out how does this story end. All right. I'm switching my tarot cards because I was called to these today, not the other ones. And I haven't used these in a long time. All right, so Spirit, what is the final outcome? Now, you guys remember, as we assess the final outcomes, remember, Spirit shows us the energy, but we're also given free will to decide what we want to do with the information that we get. Spirit can illuminate the path, but it's up to you to decide what path you want to walk down, okay? Now, what is the final outcome here? Will this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces reconcile with this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Y'all, we got the King of Swords that just popped out. Again, being bold. So I'm taking that as a yes. Okay? Being bold, and both of y'all going after what it is that you want with confidence. You guys have given a lot of thought to this. You know what it feels like. But then we got the King of Cups here in reverse. So that tells me that there is still some concerns about this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces still playing mind games. Still not being honest with who they said they are. Pursuing to go forward, but then still being cold and emotionally reckless and irresponsible. Something tells me that this is just who they are. Remember the description I gave at the beginning of this reading about Idris Elba? It's like this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius has the expectation of this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces that is simply just not them. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit says the biggest problem is how this person talks to you. Okay? They say things frankly, as I look up in this 111. They say things frankly, clearly to you, but they come across as being very hurtful towards you. They're not showing their admiration and affection with their words. Now we have the Eight of Cups. Okay. So we're back to this where this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius definitely feels like you, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Like they feel like they outstayed their welcome with you. Oh gosh. This is crazy because we got the Empress 3 times, y'all. 3 times. This Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you're not going to let this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius walk away. Yeah. Oh, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, if I was you, I would be scared. They are not letting you get away at all. You feel like you stayed too long, but you're not getting away. Listen, they putting it all out there. Okay, they are putting it all out there, baby. Okay, they like, listen, you want me to be somebody I'm not. If you want me to be a romantic person, understand I'm trying to, and I'm giving you the best. But if you want something else, it's not going to happen. Okay, that's how they're coming across. That's exactly how they're coming across. I love you. I care about you. Yeah, my tone, rate, and pitch may be messed up when I communicate with you, when I say certain things to you, but I'm still speaking from my heart. You can't control how the heart communicates. And this is where Gemini, Libra, Aquarius becomes exhausted with this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, because it feels like there is a reckoning where someone is taking someone for granted. And that's not what's happening at all. That's not what's happening at all. If I show you this chart, it feels like we're transitioning. We're here at this inflection point of transitioning. Okay, we're right here. So we're no longer here in the destructive karmic state where we're arguing, attacking, and defending each other. We're not here anymore. We're actually like right between here. So how do we start being progressive and moving forward and being collaborative as being a healthy and a healed relationship if we're still in that acceptance phase of getting to know each other? Okay. So that's pretty interesting. So I know you wanted to know, will y'all reconcile? The answer is yes. Okay, the answer is yes. I still feel like y'all got some growing to do. Like you have to get over that coldness, right? That disconnect of the relationship. Will Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces reconcile and have a happy ending? Ooh, y'all, I should have just left it alone, right? Because guess what just came out? The Moon card, which is Cancer energy, okay? But the answer to this is no, okay? So it does say no. And the reason for the no is there's still a lot of illusions, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious premonitions here, okay? So this is about the feelings. The moon controls your emotions. So it's still going to be some unresolved feelings and or emotions that are here that have not been addressed, okay? Y'all got to communicate. And we already knew that the communication was a problem here, but y'all got to communicate. Y'all got to communicate, baby. Y'all got to learn how to talk. Use your words. Describe, you know, that's what you tell children. Use your words. When you say, I feel, I just feel, you just feel what? There is a whole circle of feelings. I got a feelings wheel somewhere around here. A whole circle of feelings that you can use to pull from and equip yourself to describe how you feel. But don't assume that I know when you talk about, I just feel like you should have did this. Why do you feel like they should have did that? You see what I'm saying? There is a huge difference between, I just feel like you talk to me crazy. Okay. But what about what was said was crazy? Now, what you could say is, I just feel like you belittle me. I feel like you disrespect me. You speak in a condescending tone. You talk to me like I'm not your woman. You understand? That's a way that you can communicate effectively what it is. And that goes for both Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, I ain't wanting to put money on. You're the corporate of talking crazy and not realizing how mean it is coming out of your mouth. It is just mean, it is cold, it is dismissive, and it is not reflective of someone who loves somebody. That's just who you are. But you have to soften your approach when it comes to the people in your life, because they ain't willing to listen to that. Nobody want to be talked to like they crazy all the time. You got to change that up. Now, I just told you, you can control your own destiny. So either you can keep on playing these little Mickey Mouse games and you're going to miss out on the person you love, that you are so in love with, matter of fact. Or you're going to work on learning how to communicate like an adult. If you irritable and agitated, don't come taking it out on them. Just say, today was a rough day. I'm a little vulnerable right now. I'm irritable. I need some time. Just give me 15, 20 minutes by myself. Let me calm down and sort my thoughts. Cool. That's respectable. But you just coming in the house being bitchy just to be bitchy and biting off people's head, that is not going to work. We all have long days, bad weeks. You ain't the anomaly. All right, so angels, what messages do you have for this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces dealing with this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius? What messages do you have? Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So Spirit is reiterating to you again that it is time for you to do something about this. You cannot just sit around here and play games and like you don't understand, taking your time. You know you want to propose. You know you want to marry this person. Why are you over here playing these games? Stop it, I say. Romeo and Juliet, what words of guidance do you have for this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius dealing with this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius dealing with this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Step forward, accelerate, bring forward, make progress. Okay? Again, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you need to fix this. You need to fix it. Stop being lazy. Stop being skeptical. Do what you got to do. What is the naked truth? What are the true thoughts that this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces has about this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius? I'm sorry I put my career before you. Didn't I tell y'all earlier somebody felt neglected? I'm trying to get out of debt. I'm willing to put in the time and effort because I don't want to lose you. So that's the first thing that they think. So they're apologetic that you were not initially a priority, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm at a crossroads. Should I fight for this or move on? Relationships are a lot of work. Being single is easier. Okay. So this is where they have to be mindful of the feedback that they're getting from you, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's easier just to be like, I'm going to do my own thing. I ain't got to worry about you. F your feelings. Don't work like that, though. Last one. I dream about you constantly. I have to wake up because it is so beautiful in the 5D. So, yeah, one of the reasons why y'all keep seeing this Empress card coming out, because they done came up 3 times today, is because they know that they're supposed to be married to you. You guys have a spiritual connection beyond the 3D. So it's really up to the two of you to work it out in the 3D. Otherwise, it's going to move on without you. All right? So you can do this. It's up to you. So the question then becomes, what has surprised you today? What has helped you heal? Okay? What has helped giving you some insight and directive on where to go and what to do next? All right? So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for sharing space with me. Again, I am Mimi Lightseer, and this is Pisces Tarot. If something resonated with you, go ahead and drop a heart in the chat and let me know what landed for you. Don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to my channel, and join our community over here at YouTube, Kick, or Twitch. All right? Remember, okay? And I'm going to actually log off, get some coffee, and be right back because I'm going to go ahead and do this Chris Brown reading. I was supposed to do it later, but I'm going to go ahead and knock it out now so I could be done with these. So give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back. But remember, y'all, everybody is fighting a battle that you cannot see. So remember to be kind, patient, and gentle with others as much as you are yourself. How people treat you is not your business, but how you respond is. Make sure you leave a little bit of love everywhere you go, and I'll see you next time. Bye.